Hello, my name is Becky Socks for Mom, and it's been a good long bit since I have visited with you, probably a year. But I am recently renewed and inspired to come back to FlossTube for several reasons. The first being that I closed my Etsy shop. I will no longer be making thread keeps, and that gives me a whole lot more time to branch out and do some of the things I've wanted to do for a very long time. I have felt since my husband turned 70 this year, and I will be shortly behind him in 6 months or so, 9 months, that I've taken restock of some things. I think most of us at this age go through this. We look at what remaining time we may have left and try to prioritize things. And that is where I'm at right now. There are many things I love to do, and I haven't been able to do them because I have been a little bit obsessed with cross-stitching the last few years. So when I went through all of my projects, I realized there was no way I could finish 1/50th of them in the remaining time I have left. And I want to do the things I enjoy. So I have singled out some very special cross stitch that I want to make sure I get done in the next few years. And I'm going to share that and some other goals with you. I plan to finish my very favorite sampler ever, and that is Frances Eden. And I'll be sharing with you about her. I want to put this quilt together for my wall over there. I recently this year got an aqua cave faucet Bernina. I'll put a picture in right here. And I think this would be lovely right behind it. My walls are already painted a powder blue, and I really want to get this done. I've had it since it came out, probably 5 years ago. I don't know how long, but I want to get this finished. I want to, well, let me show you this. Santa brought me a travel voucher. We are finally going to go to Scotland, Lord willing, this year. I have wanted to do this for so long, and we've gone on many, many trips. My husband has blessed me. We've been able to travel, and this has always been the place I wanted to go that kind of got shoved aside, but I've wanted to go to Scotland since I was a little girl. And as you know, those of you who have watched me for a while, I love everything Scottish. I have a little West Highland Terrier named Kinsey. Her real name is Mackenzie. Many of my surnames in my family on my mother's side are Scottish, and I've traced our family line back. And so I am thrilled beyond elation. So that kind of changed a lot of my plans this year. We want to avoid the midges, and if you don't know what that is, you can look it up. But I think we're going to go probably in the fall, or probably, I don't know, in the spring. But if you've been to Scotland and you have a place you want me to see, please let me know. So I'm wearing a shawl. I'm going to hold it out and show it to you. This is a design from a Scottish designer, Alice Darmore, and it is made with wool from Shetland, and it's in the thistle color. So I have a lot of purple plans this year. Let me show it to you. I knit it many years ago. Oh, look, you can see the lace pattern when I hold it up. I knit it many, many years ago. Not many. I knit it a few years ago when I lived in Colorado. But this will be going with me. Oop, that's the wrong side. I want to finish the Scottish sampler that I have started, and I will show that to you, and I will show you the Scottish sampler that I finished this year, and I will show you the next one I'm going to do. I have a cardigan that I've started that I want to finish so I could wear it knitting. Let me pull up my knitting basket here. My daughter got me this adorable tote for Christmas. It holds all my knitting. I want to finish this cardigan that I've been working on. By Andrea Mowry. And it's made with the most delicious yarn. Sorry, I always sniff it. Every time I handle it, I sniff it. I just sit there sniffing my sweater a lot, the one that I'm knitting on the needles. But this yarn is from Montana, and it's woolen spun for knitters. You'll know what that means. So I want to finish that to wear to Scotland. And hubby got me what I asked for, this Scottish, the Shetland wool for this beanie here. I've had this pattern for many years, and I've wanted to knit it. So he got me all the little skeins of that. It's, ooh, I pulled the tag off. My goodness, that looks bright. Probably pull all the tags off. They're stuffed in here. But it's Jameson and Smith wool. And it is from Scotland. It's a Scottish Isle from Shetland, Lerwick, Shetland. Those of you who watch that TV series, Shetland, which we do, will have heard him mention Lerwick. So I would like to go to the Isle of Shetland, but I'm not sure that's on the agenda. My daughter is coming with us, and she's been to the Fair Isles, and which is where the famous Fair Isle knitting came from. This is Fair Isle knitting. The wool comes from Shetland, the Isle of Shetland. Allison would like to go to the Isle of Skye, which is supposed to be very picturesque and rustic. We'll see, we're planning. So I want to finish my Scottish beanie. I want to, of course, get in shape for Scotland, because we'll be doing a lot of walking and a lot of hiking on the Highlands, I hope. And so I am going to try to work up to 10,000 steps 5 times a week. It's going to be rough, but I really want to be in really good shape when we go. And let's see, the last goal I have is, well, actually there's 2 more. I want to knit 1 sock a month. So by the end of the year, my husband, myself, and Allison, my daughter, will each have 2 pairs of new socks to start the new year. We love hand knit socks. And I want to start spinning. I have a beautiful spinning wheel. I have several spindles, drop spindles, and on January 7th, there is the Distaff Day, which is a holiday that, well, I wouldn't call it a holiday. It is the day that in medieval times, women went back to their work of spinning and carding and all that fun stuff after Christmas. And they would get together on Distaff Day. I'm gonna put some pictures in. And they would spin, and the men would frolic around them and try to distract them by grabbing their distaffs and take them away. But it's always been celebrated. And when I was in Colorado, my group and I would go to a Distaff Day on January 7th. So my goal is to spend 15 minutes a day, whether or not it's on my wheel or my drop spindle, and I'm getting way into too much detail. I just wanted to tell you that if these are the kind of things you would like to hear more about, then stick around on this channel, and that's what I will be talking to today. Thanks for talking. Okay, so first up, we'll just start with the cross stitch. First up is Frances Eden by Handwork Sampler. This is an American sampler. It's 1809, and I've loved this since the first time I ever saw it. It's housed in a very colorful Tula Pink bag, which I think just reflects Frances, her personality. There's like a little glare on it. But I love this fabric. And the colors are the colors that are in Frances Eden. So here is where I'm at. What's not to love about this? Look at this black and white serpent. She is just the most colorful. She has the biggest imagination, I think, ever, with all those colorful fruits, and everything in this is colorful. From the black-haired angels, which I've never seen before. Something that I love, besides the fact that it's Adam and Eve, is that it has this big F-E right there. And my dad's initials are F-E-E. So when I walk by this, I'll always think of my dad. And just the story of the Garden of Eden. So that is Frances Eden. Now I have picked 3 samplers this year, possibly 4, depending on how this goes. And I'm going to work on them for 100 days and then change them out. So I'm hoping I can get a sampler done in 100 days. We'll see. I may not be able to put her away because she makes me so happy every time I stitch on her with the colorful colors. I bought the Vicki Clayton silks to stitch them in. Vicki Clayton has a conversion for her. Look at those colorful colors. So, should find another one of these perfect little box for this. I don't know where I got it. So that is Frances Eden. Putting it away because you know what kind of mess happens. I'm sure you've heard other floss tubers talk about it. Okay, so the next sampler that I'm working on. Can't really get it down. I'll get it down in a second. I'll show you this quilt again. Churn dashes down there. And let me show you the comes in this beautiful box. Let's see here. And it looks like there's a charm pack with all the colors in it. And then it looks like there's the backing and the cake, whatever you call those 10-inch blocks. Oh, the fabric's in there. And here it is. So I just need to sit myself down and start cutting out. But this is going to be a lot of fun. All right, so next, I made a little list over here. I'll talk about my Scottish samplers. So let me take a short little commercial while I go get them together. Last year on my goal, I had to finish Anne Morrison, and she's a Scottish sampler. She was a stitch along. The pattern is Hands Across the Sea, and she was a stitch along with traditional stitches up in Canada. And she's so pretty. Bunch of eyelet stitches in that heart. You can tell she's Scottish by the curly cues, letters around the letters, and she's got the initials of her relatives stitched in up there, which they're very known to do. I don't see a peacock on this, but that is Anne Morrison, spelled with one R. And she was 14 when she stitched this. So that will be going to the framers. Another sampler that I finished that was not Scottish, but had been started long ago, but I put it on my WIP list to finish, is Mary Clayton. This is another Hands Across the Sea. Both of these are done in silks. She's very pretty. Love that house. But I don't know where Mary Clayton was from. So I finished that sampler's going to the framer. Okay, so the Scottish sampler I'm working on this year to finish is Jessie Watson. And she's a Hands Across the Sea sampler. And I originally started this because a woman who has a son with autism did it for Autism Month, which is February. So I'm working on Jessie right now. Have been for a few years, but this year I'm getting her done. So she's on scroll frame, so let me unroll it, get some of this thread off. But I bought this beautiful, can you see that Scottish thistle needle minder? Woo, it's shiny right now. That's my needle minder. And it goes on my Scottish samplers. Can you tell why I want to go to Scotland? I love everything Scottish. Okay, so here she is. And Just starting the eyelet down here for whatever is right there. So that's what I'm working on this year. And then I will show you, I don't know if I'll get to it this year, but the one I plan to do after that one is, hold on, Margaret Ferguson. Is that her name? No. Yes, Margaret Ferguson. She was 9 when she stitched this. I have the bag for it. And I have a small start on it. But that's the manse house. And I just fell in love with the yellow flowers all around it. So, let me get it out. I may stitch on it here and there. Sorry for all the ruffling around. I'm doing this with DMC. And I made a thistle hold on a minute, everything's tied up. Well, can't get that jewel over, I'll have to take it off, but and it's still backwards. Let me go from the direction I'm supposed to be going in this way. Okay. So here is my thistle needle keep that I made with the Celtic symbol for the Holy Spirit, the trifecta, I forgot what these are called, and a green gem. And I made Scottish thistle thread keep cards for it. So that's the other Scottish sampler I have going that I may switch out Jessie and Margaret. Did I show you the sampler? Sorry about that. I showed you the threads. This is all I have done. Let's see. It's just really different colors for me to use, which I like. I mean, that's a navy blue border and then the yellow flower. I think this is going to be gorgeous. Margaret Ferguson. So those are my Scottish sampler plans. And now let's talk a little bit about knitting. I'm knitting my second sock for this pair. These are mine. And it's just a purple kind of Fair Isle self-striping yarn. What the heck? What's going on here? I should put it on a sock. I'll show them to you on a sock blocker when they're done. But I've got the first one done down to the toe. I have to Kitchener the toe shut. By the way, did you guys know that the Kitchener stitch, which is a grafting stitch, was named after a Colonel Kitchener who came up with it during the war, the Great War, to show his men how to fix their toes on their hand knit socks. It's a little bit better picture of it. Just kind of fun. I made myself a little needle cozy, which these are great if you like to to stitch on double point needles. I made mine out of some Tula Pink fabric. I'll show it to you. It's a pattern you can get on Instagram. I mean on Etsy. I'll put a link for it. But I just used some Tula Pink fabric, put some snaps on it, and then inside, it's just a fun way to hold your needles all together if you're stitching on double point. So my plan for January is to finish this sock, and then next month I will start some socks for my husband. He's already picked out 2 skeins for his 2 pair. So the next thing I'm getting ready to do is to cast on for this hat. This hat is by Isolde, and I think she lives on Shetland. Not quite sure about that, but it's a traditional beanie with the 5 colors. I'm missing a color here. Maybe not. 4 colors. I feel like I'm missing one of my, oh, here it is. Yeah. Traditional Fair Isle has 5 colors. Hold on a second. And here they are. So that will be nice and colorful and bright and cheery. And I will love it. And like I said earlier, it's made with Jamieson and Smith, which is a spindrift Shetland wool from the Shetland Islands. Now, next up is, I'm sorry for reaching you guys. I meant to put all this up here. I'm working on my cardigan, and really there's not, this is where I am so far. It has this collar. It smells so good. It's looks a little warmer than it is in real life. It has raglan sleeves. It's really hard to show this. The sleeves are raglan sleeves. I'm holding it upside down in case you're wondering. I have not gotten to the sleeves yet. I'm working on the yoke. But you can see that this is like the collar. It'll be like this. Sort of. You get the idea? Anyway, Santa brought me these little cat stitch markers, which are so adorable. And that marks where I do the decreases and increases on each side of the sleeve. So, and once again, this is what that looks like, or will look like. Now, Andrea Mowry is a knitwear designer, but she also is a spinner. And she started January 15th, a spin along that goes through June 1st, I believe, where you spin the wool and you ply it up and use it to knit her a shawl that she designed called Jaunty. I think it's called the Jaunty, Jaunty spin along. And I will put some details about that down below also. But that's really cute. So I'm working on that. And the next thing I want to do, I have, this is some yarn that I spun and plied together. Plying means you take the strands of yarn, you take the strands that you spun and you ply them backwards together. So this is a 2-ply because it has two strands of spun wool. So I like to make some fingerless mitts to go to Scotland with this. So that's another thing I need to do, is knit that. And the last thing I have to do, so my goal, like I said, is to spin more on my Turkish spindle, which I don't know where it is. I don't know where my spindles are, but I need to find them. I have my spinning wheel is all set up, and I didn't bring it in here, but I have some wool that I want to finish up in that with that's already on the wheel. And then I just may have ordered late last night some more roving to inspire me to do this, but I want to spend 15 minutes a day. And so there's 2 spin-alongs. There is the Spin Bingo, which starts in a couple days. And there's a bingo board, and they will be announcing a spin challenge, I think. I'm not quite sure how that works. It's on Instagram. I'm following it. But the real one that I want to really do is the Andrea Mowry one and knit that jaunty shawl at the end. But several years ago, I knit this Exploration shawl by Stephen West. It was lots of fun. It had a lot of different techniques in it, including the brioche right there, and then the slip stitch pattern right there. It's just a really fun shawl, and I thought it would be fun to do one for Scotland. So let me ask you guys about these colors. So hold on just a minute. Hold on. Well, you know, that's what happens with yarn. The ball must have rolled away somewhere. So I have these 2 colorways, and I have another solid purple that I want to put with this. I'm thinking, or nah, that's too dull, I think. It's a brighter purple. It's like this dark color right here, and I think that would be really pretty, a really pretty shawl. But I will tell you more about that next time around, because I think that's all I have to share with you guys today. A life update for me is I did close my Etsy shop. If you have bought from me, I thank you for buying from me through the years. I have thoroughly enjoyed making the thread keeps. It's been probably 5 years I've been making them, but I needed that part of my life to be over so I can reflect on just being really retired. And I passed all of my stuff on to my friend Stacy, who is setting up an Etsy shop. She has all my images and just everything. And she's gonna bring her own little twist into it because she is a clever girl. And she's gonna bring a lot of pink into it too. I know that, because for those of you who know Stacy, you'll know exactly what I mean. But that has been a big update. I'm glad to have a real desk back that I can work on my Bible study. I'm in Bible study fellowship, and we're getting ready to start the book of Esther. And so now I have a place where I can really study, finally, which will be nice. I am in the process of de-stashing and going through things. In September, I was in Colorado 3 weeks. I like to go up there. As you know, we lived there for 30 years, and my heart, I'm in Texas, but my heart is still in Colorado, especially in the autumn. And I try to get there every September for the quaking of the aspens, which is what you call the aspen trees when they start to turn. I'm fortunate enough to be able to use my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's cabin, and they let me go there and enjoy the autumn. And this year I invited 2 sets of friends up, which was a lot of fun. I had the girls I've been going with for the last 3 years, and then I had my Texas friends come up. But we got to watch my niece's dog, Duke, and I'm putting in a video here at the end for you to watch Duke as we did a little bit of walking around the property. It's beautiful. It was beautiful, and it always brings joy to my soul.